You came from not the richest background, and going to the beach and just trying to help your mum out with money and stuff. I was so fascinated to hear that you went and tried to park cars just so you could go and help your mum out with food and stuff like that. Like, so many Brazilians have that story. Can you just give us a bit more of a background on what your childhood was like?
Yeah, in the beginning I was just trying to help my mom, to get like extra money and just to have food at home. And it's crazy how life is, because today I see like most of my friends, some they are working, some they are in jail, and I'm pretty much the one that had a success life, So I'm very lucky to be who I am today, and because how I started everything, and yeah, I could go with them, but just thank God for this opportunity and to make my surfing made my life different.
And how old were you when you were parking cars?
I was like six years old. Yeah, I was too young.
How old were you when you first got to ride a surfboard for the first time and you said no to soccer?
Yeah, I used to play soccer. So my stepdad gave me my first board because he used to surf. I used to share my board with my best friend because it was his board, because I didn't have one. And then after my stepdad gave me one, we started sharing my board. And yeah, it was really cool.
Does he still surf today?
Yeah, he still surfs today, and he works in my institute.
Oh, epic.
With the kids. Yeah.
And how is the institute going? I think for people that don't know, you set up the Gabe Medina Institute where you got kids sort of similar to yourself growing up, with not all the money in the world. So they can come in, they can learn to be a champion, learn about health and fitness and just learn about surfing. Is there any kids in there that you're just like, this kid's the one? Is there any new Gabe Medinas coming through?
Yeah, it's amazing to have the institute. I'm lucky to have this kind of place to help the next generation, and it's been going good. It's been 4 years already, and there's some kids. There's one guy. He's really young. He's like 11. I think he'll be pretty good. But the main thing, they will be like good humans. Like they're amazing.
So yeah, I'll send my kid over there one day.
Yes, please.
You show up and he's out parking cars.
Yeah, I'll be parking cars, and so the kid can go to the institute.
Yeah. Medina's way.
Yeah. Gotta learn.
Gabe, what I want to talk about is you're releasing this film and you've been a real pioneer in how you've made your career and what you've done. However, you're releasing a feature film, a documentary piece, but you would be I was talking to Mick about this offline. Of the top 500 surfers in the world of the past 10 years, you would be the only surfer to never release a surf edit. And that just perplexes everyone. So can you tell us about that?
True. It's something that I wanted to do from a long time ago, but I kind of never had time, really, because for real, like for the last 10 years of my life, I've been focused on competition. I've been doing everything that I could to win titles, win hits, and to do like video parts of free surfs, you need like timing, and I think about like the worst. You can get hurt, and you can be out of an event or 2 or 3, and it's not the main thing, that I'm focused on doing like video parts.
You don't even need to make it. You just do it in competition anyway. So
Let's talk about
That's
that, because when we've been discussing this, Mick and myself, about how we're going to frame up this interview, we've been saying, how do you leave your best performances to a contest? So how do you say your final against Kelly in 2014 at Chopu, and then 2018, that wave you got at backdoor with a perfect 10.
Priority again, lining up another one here, looking at backdoor. This is a big wave. He's locked in. He should come through this one. Here he comes.
Oh my
Medina,
God.
the hands go up, and for good reason.
You're kidding.
One of the biggest waves that we've seen all day. Charlie, hope he doesn't have his phone in his pocket.
I'm perplexed at how you can have that muscle memory in really big surf, or to create that comfort when it looks like you've never ridden waves like that before until you've done it in a jersey. Do you ride waves of that size, or is the biggest wave you've caught been in a jersey?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I never had that experience before. That was maybe the biggest waves I ever surfed at Chopu, and that thick and scary, And it's crazy because that was my first time. I was like, I cannot do this. This is too big for me. I was like, no, I can't. And my friend was like, no, it's fine. You're gonna rip. No, don't worry. You're good. I was like, it's big, man. It's scary. I cannot, I don't know. That situation motivated me, because it was scary and challenge. And I love these kind of situations. And I felt good.
I remember, I think it was your first year on tour, and we were staying in the same house in Hawaii at the Rip Curl house there. And I think I'd lost and left early, and we were chatting, and you sent me an email, and you're like, the waves are going to be absolutely huge out pipe. What do I do?
Yeah.
And I remember just writing back to you. I was like, whatever you do, just keep in rhythm. Just keep in rhythm. And, I think you were 17 or 18 at that stage, and it was big second reef pipe, and you ended up making the quarters, I think, first year at Pipeline.
Yeah.
Like, that's unheard of. So for me, it was never a question of, oh, he's not good in big waves, or he's not ready for this. Like, people would think that you'd been surfing Chopu for, I don't know, for the last 10 years, the way that you read that day. It was truly incredible. And to beat someone like Kelly out there, who was just on fire, like, people would have, when it was Kelly versus John, they were like, oh, that's the guy who's going to win. And you just went, nah, that's not happening. I'm winning. And you were flawless. Yeah. It was incredible to watch. So
yeah, that was a sick final, especially with Kelly. He's the best out there, I think. I remember that day too, that I asked you about what I'm gonna do. It's the way it's gonna be big at pipe, and it was my first time. And you were the one that I was watching every time. I watched your last title as well. I was on the beach, and the waves are big too. And how you deal, with this kind of situation? You keep calm, and you're very cold and focused, and that's how I pretended not to be. I was trying to be Mick, in this kind of situation. Really,
don't try too hard, mate. I think you've surpassed me.
I was trying. I mean, I grew up watching you, so I was like, I need to do that. If I want to win, that's how I'm gonna do that.
Some would argue that you are the best competitive pipe surfer to this day now. I think over the last, since 2014, you've pretty much made the final every event. And
on that, and what Mick was saying about you being so dominant out there, it had been almost 2 decades since a goofy foot had won in Rob Machado. And so then you went and broke that winning streak of all these regular footers. And I think that is extraordinary in itself, because the Pipe Masters become such a focus on backdoor.
Yeah, being a goofy is really hard to be on the tour. You have to practice your backhand, that's for sure. And to win a title, you have to be a special one. You broke the stranglehold at the pipe for the goofy footers. You did the same at Snapper. I think prior to you was Mick Lowe, was the last goofy footer to win. And
Yeah, that's consistency has got you those titles.
And J-Bay as well. You're the first goofy footer since Oki back in 86, I think it was, to win that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And so I have a question for you now, Mick. We were talking offline before Gabe came on, and you were saying his paddle strength is better than anyone on tour. However, I want to talk about what you think Gabe's superpower is.
I think Gabe's superpower is the ability to focus and turn it on when it really matters. I like to call it psycho mode. And it's like when you're in that mode, I feel you're untouchable. I don't feel like there's anyone in the world that can beat you on when you're in that focus. You know, to the pressure of somewhere like Lemoore in the wavepool, like to turn it on when you need to. That's just incredible. Have you got a special program that you do to get to that confidence state, or is it something that is just you've just grown up learning to become that focused and that powerful when it comes to those big pressure moments?
Yeah, I love to get in the cycle mode. Sometimes it's hard to get there because we depend of the waves, in the day. Sometimes you feel bad. Sometimes things don't go on your way, and you kind of have to understand yourself, and losing is really good, actually. That's where I learned it a lot, It's something that I grew up practicing that, and I think one guy that really helped me in the beginning was Jesse Mendes, because he was really competitive. And he used to beat me every time, and I was going home, every time I was going home crying because he was beating me every time, So after a lot of loss, I started learning about myself, and get in the cycle mode. Keep calm, relax, focus, train, sleep good, wake up, next day, have a good session. And that's a routine that I created for me that I feel amazing. I feel really good.
Okay, so this is more of a question for you, Mick. And I think most people would agree you're a great judge of character. And one of the objectives of this interview was to try for us to get to know the Gabriel you know. And so you've said he's a courageous, generous person. You gave this example of when Owen got hurt at Pipe. Gabe would just spend hours with him in bed, just kind of by his side looking after him. And the reputation that Gabe has in the water and for being such a cutthroat killer, some people I think that's a real contrast to his perception that a lot of us have. Can you talk about the two different traits and if there's a correlation between that and being a world champ and being a winner?
Yeah, look, I've got heaps of examples. The Owen one that was just one of hundreds. Gabe's a guy that he cares for his family. You've heard just before where he sits there and he's going to help park cars when he's 6 just to help out his mum. I remember he rang me one day and he's like, "Oh, do you mind if I come and stay for a week?" I'm like, "Yeah, no worries, too easy." And I told my roommate and he's like, "Gabe's coming to stay. Isn't he a dickhead?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm going to ask you the same question in a week and let me know what you think." And in a week's time, he was just like, "Gabe's my favorite person on earth. He's the best guy I've ever met." And I think people sort of see Gabe when he's in the competition mode. And he's there to win. He's focused. He wants to just go and do his best he possibly can. But you have a look around the people and the family that he carries. He's got his dad, his mom, his sister, his brother. They're so tight knit, and that comes from somewhere. But I guess when it crosses over, when Andy first came out, people hated Andy, that didn't know him. People were like, "Andy's an asshole." It was like this good versus evil with Andy and Kelly, even they made a movie about Andy being such a dick when it came to competition. And we're just like, I've never seen that from Andy. You know, it's like you hang with him and he'll give you the shirt off his back. And I feel like Gabe's the same. And I feel the media sort of have put this light on him as like, oh, he's just this cutthroat killer, where he gets home and he is seriously, he will sit and talk to you. He will, he'll help you. You know, when he came and stayed in mine, you'd learn how to cook. He'd never eat vegetables or salads or stuff. So he would come in the kitchen, like, what are you doing here? What are you doing there? And, play video games. I feel like even Harper loves him. But I just feel like there's a big disorientation from the killer that goes down to the competition, and then the Gabe who's so genuine and so giving at home. I'd love to see people sort of investigate that more before making their decision on if he's good or bad. Like, mate, I love you. I reckon you're epic. And I know a lot of people have gone and, they've gone and hung out with you, and they've told me about it. And they're like, he's seriously the best guy I've ever met. He's so much fun. So, I want to get that story out there, just because I feel like you get a bad rap in the media just because that's all they get is that stone cold killer who's going to win events. And man, I'm for it. If you're not pissing people off, you're not going to be champion, are you?
Yeah, thanks for the words, Mick. People, judge me a lot. It's hard because competition is the competition is one thing, and the life I have outside of competition is the other thing. Because we're there to win. I could compete against my brother or my best friends. I was gonna do the same. I'm there to win, and I'll do everything in the rules to win. And sometimes it's hard because people judge you because you pedal too close to the other, or you block someone in the wave, but it's all in the rules. Sometimes we are too aggressive because we dare to win. But I don't know. It's hard, I wish everyone could speak the same language, so everyone don't get don't get wrong, how people are. But that's how it is, when I compete, I'm that guy. It's in my blood. I love to compete, and I will do anything to win, and it's a good feeling. And outside of that, I'm just a person, a normal guy, I'm 26. I still a kid. I still play video games, cruise with my friends, and love traveling with them, sharing stories, and just being around good people. And that's how I am.
So what has been your great motivator? Because Mick and I interviewed John about 10 days ago, and John was sort of saying one of his big motivators is you and what you're up to. Is your motivator, John? What's behind your drive?
What motivates me is, first of all, my family, because everything we've been through together, and my stepdad is an amazing guy. I love him so much, and my mom too. They did everything for me to be a professional surfer. That's what I wanted to be. When I was 9, my dad came and asked me what do you want to be? What do you want to do for life? I know you're young, but what you like surfing? I was like, I want to be a surfer. I want to be a professional surfer. That's what I want. I love surfing, and since that, they did everything that they could, for me to reach my goal in life. And after that, for sure it's John. I love to compete with him, he makes everything excited, you know, because he's a great surfer. He's competing really good. He's tough, you know, and he can surf every condition, which makes things hard, you know. And yeah, every time that I go with him for a heat, so like normally I put 100%, 110 or 120 in a normal hits. With him, I put like 200 because it's like every hit's a world title for me. My biggest goal is be 3 times world champion, because all the people that I used to watch and get sparring as you, they were like 3 times world champions.
A question for you, Mick. Who do you think is going to get the most world titles out of Gabe and John?
I think it's a tough one, but you know, I've done interviews in the past where, you know, people have asked me who's been the best competitor I've ever surfed against, and you know, I got to surf against the greatest like Kelly, Andy the King, Parker, Taj. I've surfed against John and Gabe, and I feel Gabe is the greatest surfer I've ever competed against. He has so many weapons. He has so many different ways to win, and his focus is second to none. So in saying all that, I feel Gabe will probably be the guy who wins more. But there's going to be some incredible battles that I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for.
Wiretaps.
Hi Gabby, I'm Pablo from Spain. I want to ask you why you ride bigger boards than other city competitors and what that helps you with.
So actually, I don't understand about anything of my boards. I know it's like 5'11". I know. I wish I could understand more, but like in this last couple, maybe like the last 2 years, I've been trying to get into it, you know, like thickness and size and whatever. But my shaper and my dad used to talk a lot. And today I use like thick boards, really thick boards. And it's like thicker than the others for sure. Like me and Jordy is taller than me. I use the same as Jordy almost. I could ride Jordy's board. But like, I don't know. But my shaper knows really good. He's good.
Hello, Gabby. Hello, Mick. I'm Gabriel from Andorra. Where is that balance between partying and performing at the highest level that you're doing right now?
Life is fun, man. It's a party, actually.
There's the balance. Yeah, I think that's the same. It's like, I think people look at us as athletes, and I was having a conversation with someone, you know, just the other day, and it's like you work so hard through an event, and win or lose, you've just got to let off some steam. And that's just, in our world, you know, we're in the best places in the world. Why not go have a beer down the street? Why not go and have a party? Like, it's so fun, and you know, you're young, go live it up. Yeah. So, but I think I was at fault when I first got onto it. I'd party before I competed, and then I realized that wasn't working. So then I competed first and then partied after.
Yeah, I'm the same. Actually, we had a conversation in Fiji, me and you, but we kind of drunk. So
yeah.
But it's that was something that I remember, you know, because you're telling me like, Gabe, because after I lost a heat, you're like talking to me and you're like, oh, don't put too much pressure on you, you know, just do it for fun. That's how you've been getting success in your life, you know, and enjoying what you're doing. You have a beer or two with your friends, it's good for you, you know, it's gonna be good for you, because we live like every day for us is too much pressure.
Hi, this is Pedro from Curitiba, Brazil. I have a question for Medina.
you being known as an ice-cold competitor, surfing winning machine, you think you're gonna have an advantage in this new style WSL is putting up?
I think it's cool. I mean, thinking about this last couple years, you know, that I've been fighting for the title and I've been being the top 3 guys, you know, it gives me good opportunities to win a title for sure, you know, and for being how I am, you know, like cold and calm and how I deal with pressure, I think it would be really good for me. I think it's a good format.
Heat for heat, guys going against each other, I think this falls right into Gabe's wheelhouse. And I'm thinking, you know, most of the time he's going to win these things. And that must be scary for his other competitors.
Hey, my name is Natalie and I'm from California. My question for Gabriel is, how much influence do you think the incident with Caio had on your world title in 2019?
Yeah, that was a bad situation. That was like a heat that if I could go back, you know, and do everything, a lot of things different. But yeah, that he was a special one, you know, that he's the one that make difference in the end. But it's part of the game, you know. That's what we're here that for, you know. We're always learning, and I'm sure like this situation was really bad for me, but I'm gonna take the best of it, you know, because we cannot go back. So I'm sure like in the next situation that I'm gonna have, like similar to this, I'm gonna take things different, you know. So it helped me to be a good competitor.
What were you thinking when you saw it, Mick?
I think it did obviously open the door for Italo, but it's not the first time this has happened. Tom Carroll did it, you know, in the Pipe Masters to win the world title. Like, it does happen. We have brain fades. We're not always just ticking every box perfectly. So it's just, it is what it is. I hope that Gabe can just let it go and see it for what it was. It was just a mistake and just move on.
Confirm or deny. Rip
Curl is working on a collab range of submersible clothing, signature collection with Charlie, so we can wear it in the water during your heats, Gabe.
That would be a good one, huh?
Yeah. The background of this is like every time Gabe wins, Charlie jumps in the ocean. And I kept texting Gabe, I'm like, please put Charlie in some new clothes because he's going to catch a cold.
Oh, so good. I don't know why he does that. He just loves it doing it. He loves it.
So good. I'm going to confirm they're coming up with a waterproof range just for Charlie.
They should do that. It's a good one. And J-Bait last year was cold.
It looks so cold.
It was freezing. And he jumped in the water. He's
what a
great.
legend.
Confirm or deny.
There are only 2 people in the world who like the Lemoore Open. They are the WSL CEO, Eric Logan, and Gabriel Medina.
Oh, I actually love that wave. It's fun. I don't know why you guys don't like it.
I think they actually like surfing it, but to compete there, I don't think they can deal with the pressure. And as a fan watching at home, I only watch the finals of it anyway, but it sort of gets a bit boring. But yeah, I'll deny that because I think Lakey Peterson likes that one too.
There's 3 people. Well, we're at the end, boys. So I got through everything I wanted to get to. I really appreciate your time.
I think I spent all my English in this interview.
No, you crushed it. It was epic. It was really good. Thank you.
Oh, thank you guys. That was fun. Thanks, Mick. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you. We learned a ton.
Hopefully to catch up soon.
For sure, brother. You take care. Say hello to the family.